So, when I hear someone like Jason Solomon, talk about how, they could get to Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, all based on the fact that Brock came back at SummerSlam and now he's positioned as a babyface, and his first obvious feud is going to be with Roman, especially with the Paul Heyman dynamic. And even it sounds like Monster is indicating that Paul's going to turn face as well because, the Usos and Roman, they don't trust him. They don't trust, Paul Heyman because of Paul Heyman's, history and closeness with Brock Lesnar. So, if, Jason's right about that, then we'll see that beatdown probably coming very soon. We just don't know when. But speaking of, Monster and him kind of, talking about how, he sees them getting towards, WrestleMania, with Brock and Bobby. Again, it just reminds me of the fact that we could come on here all we want as wrestling fans and say, this is how they should do it and this is how they could get there and here's how they can get from point A to point B and it would work out perfectly. And again, I'm just reminded of the fact that there is no doubt, in my opinion, WWE has people on social media watching, people like Solomon Star on YouTube, watching people like Alex Hicks, just Alex on YouTube, like myself, like OTRS Central, like good mic work, if you will, like Brian Zane of Wrestling with Grit, and they're just laughing. They're just laughing. They're even probably listening in and hearing what Jay Briggs of Wrestling with Regret has to say, and they're just laughing. They're laughing because of the fact that to them, we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know what we're talking about. And what's funny is there's a lot of as some people would say, the WWE marks that would defend WWE feeling that way. And why? Because they look at the fact that all we really are more along the lines, all that, people that really take the time and dedication, and I respect them for this, to talk about wrestling, like an Alex, like a Solomon, like an OTR Central, like a Zane and all that. They look at them and they see nothing more than AEW marks. They see nothing more than AEW marks criticizing the product and planning what they feel, needs to be done from an AEW mindset and not trying to separate that mindset and looking at it from a WWE mindset. This is why these WWE fans, these marks as they're called, these supporters, these McMahon kiss butters, if you will, always come out and do videos and, speculate, if not straight out say that they don't think AEW is going to last, any longer. They don't feel AEW is going to last another, 7-8 years, maybe even a decade at most. And like I said in one video in response to that, I say this. If any of that is true, if any of that turns out to be true about AEW's future, all I say is this. And the wrestlers that work there know that as well. The fans that support it know it as well. All they're going to say is, hey, if that's true, if there's any truth to that in the future, let's just live in the moment. Let's just live in the moment. And you know why a lot of us say that? It's because even if AEW has a short lifespan, and it doesn't outlast WWE, and it falls down the same path WCW and ECW fell, hey, at least it would show it had an impact, coin a phrase, on the business. And it basically made WWE wake up and realize, hey, we can't be going in this direction anymore. We got to do what these other companies did because it worked for them, even in their short span, got people behind them, so let's see if it does the same for us. The other reason, and again, this is why, when I hear guys like Alex and Solomon and OTR Central, and even myself, say these things and kind of say this is how it should work, this is how it should go. Heck, I even agreed with OTR Central when I said CM Punk and Darby Allin need to main event and close out, All Out this Sunday. They need to close it out. They need to cap off that event. I could hear people of the WWE marks going like, oh, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not going to happen. AEW is a wrestling company of tradition, and they're going to end it with a world title match, and they're going to screw over the fans. And all because they believe a lot of fans point blank, are drinking the Kool-Aid. They're drinking the Kool-Aid, they're letting their minds get brainwashed and poisoned and not seeing the bigger picture. And that bigger picture is that AEW to them is just a flash in the pan. It's just another WCW company for the modern era, that because the owner is doing exactly what Bischoff did with Turner's money, and that's just throwing it out there, it's not going to last long. But, as I said before in the video, where I read off the similarities somebody pointed out, the difference though is the emphasis. The emphasis, if you will, is on the younger independent talent that don't really get an opportunity to shine in front of a huge crowd. It's on them more so than it is on the established talent coming from elsewhere. That's the big difference. That's the big difference. But again, everybody has a right to their opinion. But to me, but from my point of view, when I hear Jason Solomon say what he did about Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, hey, he's probably right. It's probably the best solution to get to it. But the WWE marks and fans and defenders, along with those that work in WWE's social media department that probably watch these videos, they're just laughing their ass off because of the fact that they feel Jason's just talking out his ass because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And guess what? Maybe he does, because guess what? He might be a commentator for House of Glory, but he does has a knowledge of the business just a bit because of that. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the fact that WWE marked, and maybe those that work in the social media department of WWE that watch the YouTube videos, what are your thoughts on them not really taking anything that the hardcore or real, the real legit fans of wrestling, both WWE, AEW, Impact and all that, have to say seriously? What are your thoughts on that overall? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video, and I am out. My powders are about to die anyway, and I'll talk to y'all later.